Hey, what's up you guys, it's Salazar, and I know it's been a long time since I made a video, and I know literally nobody watched it, but I thought I'd make another one. So I've been noticing a lot on YouTube that paranormal videos are very popular, and I myself have had quite a lot of paranormal experiences. It is so hot in my house, oh my god. So I'm gonna start off first by saying, if you don't believe in the paranormal, you don't have to watch this video. Feel free to click off, whatever, it doesn't matter. But if you do believe in the paranormal, stick around because it's a doozy. So I've had a lot of stuff happen in my apartment that I live in now, but before that I've had a lot of stuff happen in the house that I used to live in with my mom and dad. So I'm only going to do the stuff that happened while I live with my mom and dad, and if you guys want to see a video of what's been happening in my apartment, I can definitely make a video. But for now, just the stuff that happened in my parents' house. So I live in Canada, and I lived in Canada my whole life, and we moved to Edmonton back in like 2009, 2010, so a long time ago. I was just starting grade 8. The very first thing I remember about the house that we lived in was the people who lived across the street would always say, oh, your house is super haunted, like we see like things walk through your house all the time, like it's super scary. And I was like, they're just kids being kids pretending to scare us, like I don't believe any of it, whatever. And so I just ignored it. But the first time I experienced something was with my little sister Dariana. She was 2 at the time, and she just got this imaginary friend, and he didn't really have a name at first. His name was Puppy, so she would call him Puppy. So she would have this like toy vacuum that she would play with, and she'd be vacuuming the living room, and she would say, oh Puppy, can you move please? And she would wait, and then she'd vacuum where Puppy was. Or she would be like rolling on the ground and giggling and screaming and say, puppy's on me, puppy's on me. And it was just normal 2-year-old kid things. But then nighttime came around, and she would cry and scream in her room saying, puppy's scaring me, I want him out of the room, puppy's scaring me. And I was freaked out because I was like, why is Puppy scaring you? Like, that doesn't make any sense, you love Puppy. But she would always be so terrified. And my parents wouldn't go in there and do anything because they just thought it was a 2-year-old kid thing. So me being a kid as well at the time, I would sneak into her room and say like, Puppy, get out, like leave Puppy, and then she would go to sleep and it'd be fine. I didn't really think anything of it, I just thought it was her imagination. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. In the 7th grade, so all this happened in the 8th grade, in the 7th grade, my parents thought it would be a great idea for my birthday to get me a Ouija board. Now, I wanted a Ouija board for a long time because I was a kid and I didn't know like what it really did or anything. They got me a Ouija board, and so my best friend at the time, Kelsey, and I asked her, she said I could use her name. If you're watching this, hi Kelsey, I miss you. My best friend Kelsey at the time, we would play with the Ouija board all the time. And because we just thought it was like this silly little game or whatever, but we would play with it all the time. And I remember one time it asked us something about like the book of Psalms, but it wrote the book of Psalms wrong, which is really weird because both Kelsey and I knew how to spell Psalms. So it was weird that they spelt it wrong. And so I found my Bible in my room and I started to read it, but it was some sort of like chant or something about the devil, and I was like, I'm not gonna read that out loud. It was really sketchy. I don't remember what it was, so we played with it one time, and we didn't really play with it again for like another week or 2. And then the next time we did, it said our names. It said, hello Kelsey and Sarah, and we were like, no, we're not about that. We are not about that, okay? And so that really freaked us out. Back to my little sister Dariana and her Puppy. One day she was like, oh, Puppy's name is Roger. Like, I named Puppy, his name is Roger, that's his name. And we're like, okay, Roger, sure, that's not a
creepy name or anything.
My parents' house, going into the backyard, it's all fenced off, and then it's like a big wooded area behind where they have walking paths and biking paths. And the block that my parents live on, if you walk like through the walking path, like on the walking path past my parents' house, and you turn to the side, like you can see it. So my friend, let's call her Tracy. My friend Tracy was babysitting these two kids, and she is taking them for a walk because I guess they had a dog, and her, like the little girl she was babysitting, stops and she says,
"Can't go past here."
And Tracy goes, "Why not? Like, you can keep going, like it's not a bad thing." And she's like,
"No, we can't go past here. Like, this is Roger's territory. He's gonna get really mad if we walk past here."
And Tracy was like, who's Roger? And the little girl pointed to the houses, and Tracy looks over, and it's right before my house. She was like, who's Roger? And so that was on like a Saturday or Sunday. And then the Monday when we were back at school, she comes up to me and she goes, "Hey, is there a Roger that lives in your house? Like, who, like, I don't get it, like, it's your dog named Roger or something?" And I stopped and I was like,
What do you mean?
so she told me the story, and I told her, I was like, "No, Dariana's, like, imaginary friend is named Roger." And we just kind of looked at each other and we were dumbfounded, and we were like, how did this little girl know about Roger? And so that's when I started to get like a little worried, because how do we know? Like, Dariana was 2, she wasn't making any friends, she was staying at home. This little girl was like 2, she wasn't like making any friends, they weren't in preschool or anything. So I was just kind of nervous. So me being a kid, I didn't really know like what the rules of the Ouija board was. Like, I didn't know that you were supposed to say bye. I didn't know that you weren't supposed to play it at like certain times. I didn't know that if you knew a demon's name you could banish it to hell. Like, I didn't know any of this stuff. I was just a kid. Kelsey didn't know any of this stuff. And of course I tried to tell my parents, but they obviously didn't listen, because parents never listen to that kind of stuff that their kids say. So I specifically remember this one night, Kelsey and I were playing with the Ouija board, and this still like makes my heart pound, like to this day. It's so scary to me. We were playing with the Ouija board, and Kelsey goes like, is your name Roger? And by the way, like, neither of us were like joking around about it. Like if my phone was the planchette, like both of our fingers were like just hovering. Like, I could see both of our fingers like shaking. We were hovering so softly over it. None of us could have moved it. And if one of us did, it would have been enough pressure to like lift the planchette up. So like, I knew that she wasn't joking around and I wasn't joking around. So she said, it's like, is your name Roger? And it goes up to yes. And I say, what do you want? And it spells out my little sister's name, Dariana. And that's when I'm like, nope, I'm out. And I put the Ouija board away because I was a kid. I didn't know you were supposed to say goodbye. And I was like, all right, Kelsey, let's go upstairs to my room and let's get our pajamas on, come back downstairs, and let's just watch a movie. She goes, yeah, because we were in our basement. So we go all the way upstairs, we get our pajamas on, and we go back into the basement, and I have my dirty clothes with me, so I put them in the laundry room, and Kelsey is standing so still, staring into the living area where we were. She goes, Sarah, what is that? Sarah, look. And I'm like, what? And I go in there, and you guys, when I tell you this, I'm telling it from the bottom of my heart. Like, this scared me so much. So the blanket that we were using, I had it over my legs because my basement was cold, and I remember taking it off my lap and like having it laying down on the couch when we went upstairs. This blanket was now in the middle of the living area, as if someone were holding it up like this. Like, I have my boyfriend's shirt here, I just got it from the closet, and it was like someone was holding it up like this. It was floating there. It was so scary, you guys. Like, I was petrified. But me being a kid, I was like, do you want to go look at it? Do you want to go see it? So I wanted to go over there and like walk around it and be like, oh my god, what? And Kelsey was like, nope. And so she books it for the stairs, and I book it too, but she pushes me down the stairs so that she could get past, and I got a bruise. And we ran upstairs and we waited there till my parents got home because we were not having it. And I'm like, Dad, go downstairs, like it's floating, you have to tell me if it's like on the ground. Oh my god. And he comes upstairs, he's like, guys, what are you talking about? It's draped over the back of the couch. And we're like, what? And we go downstairs and it's like perfectly folded on the back of the couch. Like, what do you mean it's folded? What do you mean it's on the back of the couch? Like, no, that makes zero sense. Even if we just happened to see it like on the back of the couch and think that it was floating, like it was folded in a square, not like in a triangle. And I remember putting it like on the cushions of the couch, not the back of the couch. That was so scary, you guys. You have no idea. I talked to my parents a while ago, and they said that they do believe that the house is haunted now, because there have been times where they hear like running around upstairs while they're in the living room, and my siblings and I will be gone for the weekend, like either to a friend's house or we went to like a camp or something, and my dad will yell out there and be like, hey guys, go to bed, and my mom will look at him and be like, there's no one home, like, there's no one home. And he's like, oh yeah. Or they'll hear like quiet talking upstairs and be like, go to bed, and I'll be like, no one's home, like no one's home. So that's really creepy. Last story I'm going to tell is the one that scared me the most. So my parents do a lot of fundraising for cystic fibrosis. So if you don't know what cystic fibrosis is, it's basically a disease in the lungs and digestive system, where you don't have enough enzymes to digest your food, and you also get a lot of fluid buildup in the lungs. And my little cousin Teresa has it, and so we do a lot of fundraising for it. And so my parents were out doing like a raffle thing at a bar, and so I was babysitting, and me and my sister shared a room. Me and Hannah, not Dariana. Dariana had her own room, but me and Hannah shared a room, and we had a TV in our room. And so all the little kids were in there. We were watching something, I don't even remember, I think it was SpongeBob or something. And so I put them all to bed, and I go back into my room, and you remember those little Lala Loopsy dolls? The actual scariest thing in the world. If you don't know what it is, quick Google search. They're terrifying. My sister loves them. So I go back into my room so that like me and Hannah can keep watching TV. A Lala Loopsy doll is on my bed, and I just think, oh, Dariana left it in here, no big deal. So I pick it up, put it in her room, and she goes like, thanks, Sarah, and she goes to sleep. It's like 11 o'clock and me and Hannah go to sleep, and I wake up at around, I don't remember, it was the middle of the night, and I need to go to the bathroom. So I open my bedroom door and I see the Lala Loopsy doll in front of my door, and I'm like, creepy, because they're terrifying, but Dariana probably just went to the bathroom and it dropped there or whatever. So I pick it up and I go into her room. She's like drooling on her pillow, like snoring in her sleep, and I just put the Lala Loopsy doll like so she's like cradling it in her sleep. I go to the bathroom, and then I'm in there for like 30 seconds. I pee, I wash my hands, I'm done. And I go back into my room. This Lala Loopsy doll is on my bed. And I go, not today. And I'm thinking, Dariana woke up and decided it would be funny because she's a trickster, or Hannah did, she thought it would be funny. But Hannah was snoring loudly. I go back in there, Dariana's still drooling in the exact same position. Plus, it was 30 seconds. A 2-year-old, like, could not move that fast in 30 seconds. So I take the Lala Loopsy doll, put it back in her room, and I literally don't sleep for the rest of the night. I turn on my light, screw you, Hannah, I'm terrified, and I read my books for the rest of the night. It was terrifying. That is all for my paranormal stories that I can remember in my parents' house. I have a lot of them that happen in the apartment I live in now. If you guys want to see a video of the paranormal stuff that I've experienced at this apartment, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below that you want to see it. Also, if you like this video, make sure to subscribe and click that little notification bell. Just all the YouTubers like that. Whatever. Alright guys, I will see you next time. I love you. Bye.